All right. Give us just a second here, guys. We're just getting set up. All right. Welcome to another episode of Live Stock Picks with me. My name is Adley Telford. I am the creator of the course, uh, Stock Trading, a simple beginner guide, now available on Udemy. Uh, and I'm also the creator of the book, Better Thinking Habits, the Introduction Edition, which is also available on Amazon in ebooks and paperback. All right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get our course started here. I'm not here to upsell you on my course. I just want to go ahead and do some live stock picks. This course is really designed for my students or for beginner traders that are interested in learning how to trade. First thing that we're going to be doing during this live is what we do all the time. Well, what we do every Monday through Thursday from 7:30 from 7:30 p.m. until we end this live. I'm a little off today, guys. I'm sorry. It's just we had a lot going on here at the office. Now, so first thing that we normally do is we check our economic calendar just to make sure that, just to look to see what's going to be happening tomorrow. Today is July 1st. The current time is 7:31. So what we're really checking for is what trade opportunities or what stocks can we buy for tomorrow. But before we do that, we come over here to our economic calendar on investing.com. And the first thing we're going to be doing is checking to see what's going to be happening tomorrow, what major news or reports are going to be released tomorrow. We cover this in my course, Stock Trading Simple Beginner Guide, that is available on Udemy. So this is the first step, and this is what I do every single day before trading. I come in here and I'm looking for our 3 stars to see what's happening. Is there any major news that's going to affect the market? So at 8:15, we have a 3-star over here, which is ADP non-farm employment changes. That's somewhat big, but it's not really that big of a deal for me because it's just with ADP alone. All right. Like I said, we are doing this live, so I will be getting phone calls from clients, but we are currently closed. The office is closed. All right. So then the next item that we have coming out at 10. The next item that we have coming out at 10:30 is going to be crude oil inventories. At 10:30, we have our crude oil inventories coming out, and that is somewhat of importance, but that's only if you're really trading oil, which you shouldn't really be trading oil right now with everything that's happening in the Middle East, right? And then after that, we really don't have anything else coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow is a good day to trade. We don't necessarily have to push anything back. We just know that we should stay away from crude oil for right now, especially until everything in the Middle East cools down. So normally we would go from here into FinViz, where we would look at, we would actually use our stock screener to see what's happening, with, uh, let's see what's happening as far as new stocks that we can pick and different things like that. But we had a lot of stocks that we actually looked at and we picked yesterday. And we have some stocks from our watch list from last week. And those stocks, some of them we traded, some of them we didn't trade it, some of them we still keeping an eye on to see if we want to be able to trade those. So let's kind of go in right here and see where some of those stocks landed. So the first stock that we're going to be looking at is, this is the watch list for last week over here. And this is the one that we started on June 23rd. We've cleared it up quite a bit, but there's still a good amount of stocks left. Now, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, everything that you see here in green are stocks that we are actually in trades for. And the blue stocks are stocks that we should be jumping into trades today. Those were great opportunities. And then that's it. We don't have any blank or any yellow ones, right? So let's take a look at this stock over here, MP. We did not trade it, but let's take a look. Okay, so we looked at this stock yesterday, and we looked at our moving average, which is the green line here, and then we looked at our moving average, which is the red line here. And as you know, from those of you who have taken the course, those of you who have watched watched some of our videos before, some of my lives, you know that. And I'm just multitasking here. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Let's go in here. And for those of you who Our and those of you who have watched some of our previous live videos, you know that this is a clear signal that we're in an uptrend. Green line moving averages on top, pointing up. Red lines at the bottom, it starts pointing up. So therefore, we're in a clear upward trend, right? So now that we're in this clear upward trend over here, we actually drew in this line of resistance over here, right? And we got this one off of our, let's go with our 1-day chart here. And we got that, and we identified that ourselves as a area of resistance. Now, what happens here is we've identified it, but on our 4-hour time, on our daily time frame, the moving average is pointing that we're in a clear upward trend. It went up, it bounced back, and now we can see that if it breaks below this green line right here, this green moving average, this line, more than likely it's going to continue coming down. On our RSI, we can see that it's right here. Sorry, and you know what? Let me go ahead and enlarge this. Let's do this right here. Let's enlarge this. So here we can see this is the green line. It's actually pointing up. Red line is pointing up and is below it. So that will let us know that we're in an uptrend, right? Here on our RSI, and I'm just going to enlarge that so you can see. Here on this RSI, this little dotted line right here, you can see the prices. This right here is like our 50 line right here, right? And our RSI, it's coming down towards the 50. Now, if it breaks below that 50 and it stays below it, then we know we're going to be in a downtrend. As long as it stays above this 50, it can come down, hit the 50, come down a little bit lower, but as long as it stays above this area, this middle line right over here, we know that we're more than likely going to be in an uptrend. It's going to continue. So we have to keep an eye on this right here to see what's happening over the next couple of days. I actually expected today would be a day where it would make a decision whether to hit it and bounce up and go back up, but it did not, right? So let's minimize that again. So now we're back to our regular chart. Now, once we're back over here to the regular chart, one of the things I want you to pay attention to is when we switch over and we go to our 4-hour time frame. So we're going to go ahead and switch that over to our 4-hour time frame. And once we get there, we're going to go back into full view. So over here on our 4-hour time frame, as you can see over here, we were in an uptrend. We were in a clear uptrend, but then it starts to curve, right? It starts to curve. We had drawn this area of resistance over here. It broke through it. It hit it, kind of stayed above it, then it broke through it. So more than likely, and then you can see over here on our RSI, it's actually broken below the 50 right over here. So right here, we can tell that it's more than likely going to be on a downturn. It's about to go into a downtrend. And then if we enlarge our RSI over here, you can see this is the 50 line right over here, right? And it actually broke through it and it's now pointing down. And like I've said before, I'm always going back and forth between our 4-hour time frame and our daily time frame, right? So 1 day or 1D. Let's go 1D. And I always go back and forth between those two because what happens here is the 4-hour time frame is kind of like an early indicator to let us know if we're going to be going into a downtrend. So for this particular stock over here, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I'm not going to expect to trade it anytime soon. And let's take a look here. And yeah, it's not like it's hitting new highs. It's been a lot higher than this before. So I like to kind of, stroll in and see, okay, how high has this stock been before? And it's been a lot higher than this. Right now, the current prices are right about here at 31, but we can see that it's been a lot higher before. So we can keep an eye on that one, see if there's a turnaround. That's why it's blue. It could have made the turnaround today and started to do the bounce back, but right now it looks like it's going to be going into a downtrend. So we're just gonna keep an eye on that one and see what happens there. All right. So the next stock on our watch list is going to be actually this stock right here, AAOI. I actually jumped into this trade today, and let's click on that one. I jumped into this trade today, and you'll see where I marked it. I jumped into it right here on the yellow mark, which is going to be $25.57, and post market. The market actually closed at $25.35. Post market, it went back up to $25. And let's go ahead and enlarge that. So over here, the market closed at, in red, which is this red line right over here, the market closed at 25.35. After the market closed, post market, it went up 25 to $25.43, which is in blue right over here. And then after that, I bought the stock at 25.57. So I expect this is the low, and I have my stop loss right over here, right below this mark at about $20. So I expect the stock to kind of come down here and, bounce back and start to rise again and continue rising. And the reason for that is because here we had a golden cross, which is the moving average. You had the red line and the green line. Uh, so we had green lines on top, it crosses over. Green lines on top, it was pointing up. Red lines at the bottom, it was pointing down. And as you can see, we were not in a clear uptrend. It was just kind of going sideways, right? And then here, as soon as you see that green line pops up and it starts pointing up, and the red line is at the bottom of it and is pointing up on both these moving averages, all of a sudden, boom, the stock broke through that area of resistance, which is right here on our daily time frame, and then it started to move up. So I bought the stock here. I expected to do a lot of movement up. So we'll see what happens with that one, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Next stock, WFRD. Let's see what happened with this stock over here. This is a stock, we have it in blue, and what we're looking for is we're looking to see if this is going to turn into a buy opportunity. And I think it actually will be a good buy opportunity. Let's take a look here. So we have a crossover. Uh, right over here, we have a golden cross where the green line is on top, red line's at the bottom. Green line was pointing up, red line was pointing down. So it was not in a clear uptrend, right? We couldn't identify that it was in a clear uptrend. Now that the green is pointing up, red line is pointing up, green line's at the top, red line's at the bottom. So we're in a clear uptrend. And this is kind of like why when it went up, it came back down. We could have expected that because, right there was a lot of indecisiveness. Now that it's broken through that area of support, more than likely we'll be buying the stock here at $50, at $52.14 tomorrow, and setting our stop loss at $51.01. Right? So let's take a look at that. Our RSI on this one, our ATR on this one is going to be our ATR on this one is going to be $2.23, meaning this stock moves up an average of $2.23. So what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be going in, and we're going to go ahead and see how much money we can possibly make with this one, with this particular stock, right? So we're going to go in, and the stock is going to be WFRD. All right, so we're going to go over here to our Excel. We're going to put in WFRD. Right, there's a stock, and the price on this particular stock is going to be, what's the current price? Current price is 52.14. Let's write that down. My memory is not all that great. So we're going to go with, it's going to be 52.14. I don't want to be going back and forth between the screens. So that's 52.14 is the price. And our ATR is $2.23. And for those of you who don't understand what ATR, average true range, meaning this stock on average for the last 14 days has been going either up or down at least $2.23, right? So we're going to go back over to our chart. We bought the stock price right now is going to be 52.14, right? And if we are, as a new trader, if you're starting off your account with $500, you can buy 9 shares of this stock, right? If you have a $500 account, right? So you're looking at quantity with a $500 account, you can buy 9 stocks. And that would cost you $469.23. With an ATR of $2.23, we can expect to make on average $20 a day with this particular stock, right? So would this stock be one of the primary stocks that I'm looking at? Maybe not, but I'll keep that stock in mind. So I just got to compare it against the other stocks that we can possibly buy. So the next step is we're going to go over to NBIS, right? And NBIS, let's take a look at this one. NBIS. So this stock has come down. And this is what I was waiting on, right? So we were waiting for it to, because this red area is a zone area of resistance. We expect it to get into the zone, but it won't break through. We don't want to buy it until it breaks through that area of resistance. You see, it came down, it bounced up, and then it hit it, and it came right back down. So now the price is, and let's enlarge this. So now you see this is the zone. This is the area of resistance. And how we identified that is by looking at it on both the 1 day time frame and the 4 hour time frame. So we were able to identify this as our zone. Now that we've identified this as our zone, it's gone all the way up here. As you can see, let's enlarge that a little bit. So here we go. So the stock has come up, hit it, kind of comes bounce back down, gone up, hit it, kind of bounce back down. So now the stock closed at $50.31, and right now is at $50.65. Right now, what I'm going to look at is a couple different things. One, I'm going to look at, are we in a clear uptrend? Right, we have a golden cross over here, which means the green line is now on top and is pointing straight up. Red line's at the bottom, but that's also pointing up. So we are, this is what they call a golden cross. And now that we know that the golden cross is here, meaning the reason why they call it the golden cross is because you're going to make money, you're going to make gold. So the stock is going up. It's hit an area of resistance. It's tested that area of resistance. Uh, but we want to know if it's going to break through. So the second thing we're going to look at is our RSI, this little purple section right over here, right? And we're just going to maximize that for right now and bring that up a little bit. So as you can see, when the RSI, this is the 50 mark. So as long as that RSI is above it, you see here, it's above it and it's in an uptrend. It's staying above it, and as long as it's an uptrend. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking and keeping an eye on this to see if it breaks through this and starts going down below the 50 mark on the RSI, because that lets me know that we're in a downtrend, right? So let's minimize that. And if you look here, you can see where while we were in a downtrend over here, you can see that our everything was below that 50 mark. The line stayed below it, right? And when we got into the uptrend, you can see where we got an early indication here that we may be in an uptrend, and then it just stuck and stayed above the 50 mark on our RSI. So here, I want to buy this stock, but this could be a strong area of resistance. But the first thing I want to do is I want to see if this is a new high, right? And what we want to do is we want to see that the stock has been higher than this before. Yes, it has. It has been higher than this before. So this is not going to be the first time it's in this price range. The second thing we want to do is we know with our RSI, it's still above the 50. Now I want to go ahead and I want to check and see if there's any news that came out, anything that's really affecting it, right? As far as this particular stock, your leaders, but so there's no real big news that's coming out to affect this stock. And over here, if we actually click out of this and we go over here and we pop this section out, what we can do, we can stroll over on the side over here and we can stroll down and we can see what is it? It's a buy right now as far as our technical analysis, and it's a strong buy rating. They expect year-end this price to hit at least $66.50. If you can see that right over here in the corner. Okay, so I would, as a new trader, if you were a brand new trader and you only have $500, or starting off account with 500 or $300, let's say $500. I would tell you wait until the stock reaches right above here, above this, and closes above this price point, above this area of resistance, right? Because you can't afford to take the chance. As a seasoned trader, I'm going to actually buy that stock here at this price around $50.71, which is what is at currently. I'm going to set a buy for this stock tomorrow morning, and with expectations that we're going to be going in an upward trend and we're going to break above this area right now. Now, where would I set my stop loss? I will set my stop loss on my RSI, and I will set my stop loss, well, not a stop loss, but I will set an alert right below the 50 on my RSI. So let's go ahead and increase that size. So I will go on my RSI and I would set an alert right here at $49. And when I set that alert, that's going to be my early warning indicator, right? And that's going to let me know once this on my RSI, my indicator, comes down to about 49, the alert's going to go off and I'm going to come back and I'm going to take a look at it. Because by that time, the price will be somewhere in this area and it's going to let me know if we're about to do a turnaround. Another thing that I can do is I can go over here and I can look at it on my 4-hour time frame, right? Let's look at it on a 4-hour time frame. And on our 4-hour time frame, we can see that we're still in an uptrend. It's not like we have a curve where the stock is starting to point down like it's going to turn around and drop. So this is a good indication that we could buy the stock. We're going to be hold on to the stock for a little bit long. We're going to hold on to the stock for a little bit longer than I normally like to. I like to buy a stock maybe on a Tuesday or a Monday and be out of it by Friday. I may have to hold on to the stock for maybe 2 weeks, and by that time it'll probably break through this area of resistance and start to go up. Now let's see how much money we can make off of this particular stock, right? Let's go back and let's put in our 1 day on a 1 day time for chart, and we're going to add this one to our Excel spreadsheet over here. So let's go ahead and get that information. Like I said, I have horrible memory, so I'm going to write everything down, then transfer it over. I myself, I have 3 screens that I'm working off of. But with this live streaming software, I cannot be kind of switching in between the different screens. So I'm going to be working as if I'm a beginner trader working with just a laptop and that's it. I don't have multiple screens, right? So you don't have to have a multiple screen setup in order to do this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down the stock symbol, which is NBIS. The price of this stock right now is going to be $50.64 because that's what it closed. It closed at $50.31, which is in red over here. But after the market closed, post-market, it went up, what you see in blue, which is $50.64. Our ATR is $3.86. And that's this information right over here, our ATR right over here, all right? Our ATR is right over here, $3.86. Oh, matter of fact, let's go ahead and have our demonstrator on here so we can kind of highlight that so you guys can see where I'm at. So this is where we're at right here, $3.86. So let's assume that we have a $500 account balance. We're going to put in the stock symbol here, NBIS. The price of that stock is going to be $50.64. With a $500 balance, we can actually purchase 9 stocks, right? And that's going to cost us $455.76. And the ATR on this stock is going to be $3.86. Okay. So with a $3.86 ATR, if I buy this stock with the $500 balance, I can expect to make roughly about $34.74 a day, or possibly lose it. But I know it's going to move up or down at least $3.86 a day. So I can possibly make about $34.74 each day, or lose $34.74 each day based on our ATR on the expected movement. So these are the 2 stocks that we've looked at so far from our watch list that we can buy tomorrow as soon as the market opens up. Now, when you look at the first stock over here, WFRD, we can buy 9 stocks, the same as NBIS, but because the ATR on NBIS is a lot more, and I can make $34.74 compared to the $20.07, right now, this is the leading stock that I would buy if I only had $500 and I could only buy one of the stocks, right? So that's how I use the ATR, and that's how I use this Excel spreadsheet. So let's take a look and see what other stocks we have available here. All right, let's open back up our watch list, and that's it. So so we looked at the 3 of these. The MP right over here, we're going to turn that one over to yellow because right now it's not in an area where we want to buy it. But these 2 other stocks in blue are stocks that we can buy first thing in the morning, and these stocks in green are stocks that we've already bought. We're in the trades and we're just waiting for them to hit our profit area so we can get out of them. So we're basically are just about done with last week's watch list. And remember, last week we had over 15 stocks here on our watch list, but we've already, we've already gone in and we've traded roughly out of the 15, we traded 8 of them. And we're still in, we added this trade over here, AAOI, we added this trade today. So roughly, we've traded about 9 stocks out of the original 15, and some of them we took off because they went in the wrong direction, didn't go in the direction that we wanted them to go. So we end up stop watching them and took them off the list. Um, but these are the ones that are left, and we're gonna buy these two first thing in the morning if they continue in the direction that we expect them to continue. We did start a new watch list yesterday, which was June 30th, and that's this watch list here. And on this watch list, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks that we're watching. And out of these, we added these on our watch list yesterday. And out of these, we're in 1, 2, 3 trades, right? So we're in these 3 trades over here. And each one of these trades is we are putting in a minimum of $500. So each one of these trades are a $500 trade. And so we should be getting some good returns on these. So let's look at the ones that we are not trading right now. We're not in the trades for, and only the ones in green are we are actually in trades for. So let's look at this one right here where you don't have a color next to it. BBAI. Let's take a look at that one. Now, with this particular stock, why haven't we traded? Okay, so this over here, we can see that it broke through the area of resistance right here. The price point right now is about 671. And if we buy this stock, we would actually set our stop loss right around here at $4.42. So we'll actually have to put about $2 at risk for each one of these stocks, right? So here, what are we going to do? Okay, can we buy? Let's see how high it's been. Has it been a lot higher than this before? Uh, yeah, actually it has. It has. It's been a lot higher than this before. So this is not like a new high for them, right? So we can buy this stock here. We're going to put $2 at risk if we bought the stock, because we'll buy it here and we will set our stop loss right below our area of resistance. We don't expect it to come down below this area of resistance. Where our moving averages, green lines on top pointing straight up, red lines at the bottom pointing straight up. And then over here we have our our RSI. Our RSI is well above the 50 and it's probably going to come down just a little bit. So we'll see. Right now it's pointing down. So tomorrow it probably will do a little bit of a pullback tomorrow and then start doing a bounce back. So I'll wait to see if it does a little bit more of a pullback, because I would hate to put $2 at risk on that, especially because you can lose a lot of money on this particular trade if you were to do that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? I would prefer for my stop loss to be about $1 difference, not a $2 difference, especially with a price point like this of $6. All right. So here our ATR on our daily time frame is 60 cents. So we can make roughly about 60 cents a day. I mean, that stock can go up or down about 60 cents a day on average. So let's take a look at this, right? So this stock over here, we're going to say that the symbol is BBAI. The price on this one right now is 671, and the ATR on this one is 60 cents, right? So let's input that into our charts and see what we can possibly get, if it's even worth buying this first thing in the morning. So let's set that up. That's going to be BBAI. The price on this stock is going to be $6.71. So that means with a $500 account, we can buy 74 shares, right? Which will cost us $496.45. And this stock goes up an average of 0.60 cents, right? So that means on average, we can make about $44 a day, $44.40 a day, which is pretty good. That's really good. That's actually pretty good. So this could be a possible good buy, because I'm putting $44 at risk a day. So if this stock was to go down about $2, you can imagine that's going to be well over into the $100 that we're going to lose if we have to put our stop loss here. So we're going to be putting well over $100 at risk if I was to buy the stock here at this price, which is going to be the $6.72, and I set my stop loss all the way over here at the bottom below this area of resistance. All right, so that's a good pretty penny that I got to put at risk. I don't like to do that. Prefer it to be $1 difference rather than a $2 difference. So let's look at the next stock that we want to look at. But I'm going to keep this on my watch list. This particular stock over here, BBAI, going to keep it on our watch list, and we're going to hope, like we said, when we look at our RSI over here, we're going to hope that there's a pullback on our RSI. And with that pullback coming down over here to the 50 mark, the stock price, this is our RSI, our stock price should come down just a little bit. So if I can get the stock price, if the stock price does a pullback and it comes down to at least like 580, 590, I would buy it at that point because I won't be putting so much money at risk, maybe $1.50 or $1.25 at risk, because when I put my stop loss all the way down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on. So the next stock that we have, and these two stocks, DOC, EVH, I actually bought these this morning, and now we have SERV. SERV. This one is on our watch list. Let's see what's happening with this stock. Here we have. Okay. Okay, so this stock looks like it's going to be doing a turn. It doesn't look like it's going to do a turnaround. It looks like it's just going to be a straight drop. So this one we may be able to just, I may be able to just take. I'm probably just going to go ahead and take this one off our watch list. I'll keep an eye on it just a little bit longer, but I believe from what I'm seeing here, and let's take a look. Let's click on this. Let's see what's popping up here. Service rent sales. Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about, right? And this is a great example. I'm actually going to leave this up here because I have to do a short video with this one. So originally, this stock was in an uptrend, right? But then you had this news release where the CFO sells shares to meet tax obligations. That's what he's saying, right? So when you see a CFO selling shares in a stock, that's really not going to help it at all or help it much. So we can probably expect this stock to kind of continue dropping, because when that news was released about 4 hours ago, look at this. There was a big drop in the stock. So this is an example of technical analysis. It looks like we're in an uptrend, but then you have the fundamental analysis, which is the news of a CFO selling shares in the company and the stock price dropping. But we're going to keep an eye on that one right there. Next one is going to be Sweet Green. Sweet Green. It was on CNBC. They actually talked about it earlier today. This is a good stock. Well, I won't say it's a good stock, but they were mentioning it because it's actually had a huge drop, and they believe that it's reached the bottom. And it probably has. And how I can tell that is because when you look at this particular stock over here, you see where on our RSI, it's actually broken through that that 50 mark, okay, the 50 mark, and it's above it, but it looks like it's coming back down. So what we're doing is we're waiting to see if there's going to be a golden cross where the green line is going to come across the red line, start pointing up. Red line is going to be at the bottom. It's going to be pointing down, and once it breaks through this area of resistance and that golden cross happens, then we can actually go ahead and buy it. So we're going to still keep an eye on it because this will be a great price point to buy it. And it also has a great ATR as well. But let's see how it looks on our 4-hour time frame. Let's take a look here on our 4-hour time frame, because that gives us an early indicator of what's happening. And as you can see on our 4-hour time frame, it's really consolidating. It's really coming really close to each other, and it only looks like it's a matter of a couple days before it actually crosses over and becomes a golden cross, where the green line will go on top, start pointing up, red line will be at the bottom, but also pointing up. And over here on our RSI on a 4-hour time frame, we can see that we're already seeing signs of going into an uptrend over here. So we'll keep an eye on this tomorrow, and we'll see if it breaks above this and gets above the $15.30 mark, right? So we already have an alert set here, and that's what this little red bell over here is. All right, so we're good with this one. Let's take a look here. And next one, MGM. Remember yesterday I was talking about MGM, right? This particular stock over here, MGM. I myself, like I said, I looked at this and I said I would buy it if it goes above this area. But one of the reasons why I did not buy the MGM stock yesterday, and not even just today, because today you see that it didn't really move. But I didn't buy it yesterday, which is what is it, Monday? Yeah, I didn't buy it on Monday. Yesterday, Monday. I didn't buy it because even though we added it to our list, because one of the reasons why this is going up is because they filed for a new resort and uh, a new casino. So when they do that, and people are expecting this thing to be approved, so the stock price dropped. But you see, after that, it jumped up, but it didn't really move much. So when you click here on this, you can see, okay, why MGM stock is up today, da da da. So they're expecting it to be booming, Las Vegas of Asia. So there's a lot of lot of things happening here, right? And one of the things I always say is I don't like to trade. Um, I don't like to trade what household name stocks, right? Everybody knows MGM casinos. They have the hotels, the resorts, the movie theater. So when they release good news, like, hey, we're building up a new resort, this is what happens. The stock shoots up, but it only shoots up for that day because there's nothing else really carrying the stock. Now everybody's sitting around waiting to see if the permits are going to be approved, the licenses are going to be approved. So you buy the stock, it moves up, but then it doesn't go anywhere. So this one, I just kind of left this one on because I had to do a short about this one as well. But we're just going to go ahead and take that one off of our watch list. Yeah, ZETA. I already traded this stock. That's why it's green. And then the last one that we have is this stock over here, YETI. And let's take a look at that one. Let's see what's happening here. Now, this stock, I am really excited about this one. This one, I think, has a lot of great opportunities. I'm just waiting for that golden cross. So over here, we have that area, which is that zone of resistance, right? So once the stock goes above this and closes above it for the day, then we know we can go ahead and buy this stock, right? Right now, it's our RSI is showing that we're in an uptrend. It's above the 50. It's showing that we're in an uptrend. We have our moving average right over here, but the red line's on top. That's the problem. The red line's on top, green line's at the bottom. So this could be what they call a fake debt cross, because even here, it should be a debt cross where the stock is going down because the red line's on top, green line's at the bottom, but the red line's pointing up and the green line's pointing up. So if there's a crossover, if it consolidates and then it crosses over and the green line's on top and the red line's at the bottom, like it has here, with a green line's on top pointing up, red line's at the bottom, you see we're in an uptrend. If that happens here and it breaks through this area of resistance and closes above it, then I can go ahead and I can buy it because I can expect it to continue rising. So this is a stock that we're going to be keeping an eye on for the remainder of the day. Well, we're going to be keeping an eye on for tomorrow. So as of right now, we have a good amount of stocks that we are trading. We have this stock, we're going to turn this into a blue. This one, the MGM, we're going to go ahead and delete that one off of there. And there's really no other stocks that we're going to highlight blue right now. But so we have a good amount of stocks that we're looking at. We don't necessarily have to. Well, tomorrow we'll go through FinViz and screen some more stocks to see if there's any additional stocks we want to add to this, and then we'll go from there. All right, but this is kind of like how I set up my charts. And for those of you who are watching these videos for the first time, um, if you're wondering what all of this is, these are our indicators. These are our support. These are our resistance is the red, green, blue is your areas of support. This is a moving average that we have set up here, which is an indicator called the golden cross, dead cross. Golden cross meaning when the green line's on top, pointing straight up, red line's at the bottom and is pointing up. We're typically in an uptrend. And then the dead cross is what they call, the dead cross is when you have the moving average where the red line now becomes on top and is pointing down, green line's at the bottom and it's also pointing down. And there you can see we're in a clear downtrend. Now we do have what they call a false dead cross and a false golden cross, but I would, I explain that in my course that I have on Udemy. Let's go over here to the Udemy course. All right, now the course that I have here on Udemy, it is $99, but for the $99, what you do get is you get, not only do you take the course, but you get full access to me guaranteed for at least 3 months where you can text me, message me, call me, ask me questions about stocks, ask me questions about anything that any concerns you may have, or where you should set your buy-in, or whatever the case may be. In this course, I show you how to set up your chart, just like I have my chart set up here with these simple indicators. Your chart doesn't have to be all crazy technical. It just needs to be, you just need your moving averages here. You need your RSI. You need to have your ATR and your volume. And then we basically show you how to bring it all together so you can understand it and know how it works. Uh, but that's really it when it comes down to today's live video. If you guys have any questions, put some comments inside of the messenger, well, in the chat log, or message me, or leave a post. Or you guys can, if you are students, you can just reach out to me directly by email, or give me a call, or chat, or send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. If you have any stocks you want me to look at, or anything else like that, you can message me directly through Udemy, message me through my email, or, like I said, send me a message on WhatsApp, because you guys have that. All right. Anybody that's interested in learning how to trade stocks, I would encourage you to watch some of my previous live videos, or sign up for the Udemy course. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.